X-ray vision in space. Other Trinidad. Abstract. In this paper, we will deeply explore the principles of X-ray and its outstanding contribution to the space industry. The article begins with a more classic example, will make the article even more active. This example is then brought to the subject matter of the article. Then, let's detail the basic concepts and the principles of X-ray, including its processing mode and the data and other content. In addition, the definition of characteristic radiation will be reflected in this part. The rest is the role that the X-rays play in astronomy. In fact, it mainly serves the famous American National Space Agency, NASA. So have you ever seen amazing color images from space, like stars or even entire galaxies? Some of these images were originally taken using forms of radiation that the human eye can't actually see, such as X-rays. To create the beautiful images you see in the news or online, scientists have to use image identity programs to add color to them. In this astronomy science project, you will use raw X-ray data from NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory Telescope to create stunning color images of space objects. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and seen hundreds or even thousands of stars? Or imagine seeing wonderful objects like supernovae, black holes, or even entire galaxies up close? You may not be able to see them with the naked eye, but powerful telescopes allow you to go deep into space and detect objects very far away. So how do X-rays work? The simplest way to produce X-ray is to hit a mental target, the accelerated electron. During the collision, electrons suddenly accelerate and their lost kinetic energy is released as a photon, forming a continuous part of the X-ray spectrum known as bremsstrahlung radiation. By increasing the acceleration voltage, the electrons carry more energy, potentially knocking out the inner electrons of metal atoms. The outer electrons jump back into the inner layer to fill the hole, emitting photons with a wavelength of about 0.9 nm, equivalent to a frequency of 3 Hz and an energy of 12.4. Since the energy released by the outer electron transition quantized, the wavelength of the emitted photon is also concentrated in some parts, forming the characteristic line in the X spectrum, which is called characteristic radiation. You can see stars because they emit visible light, but visible light is just one type of electromagnetic radiation. Humans actually see only a very small part of the electromagnetic spectrum, which includes other types of radiation, such as radio waves and X-rays. Electromagnetic radiation consists of radiation waves of a certain wavelength. Waves with shorter wavelengths have higher frequencies. High-frequency waves have more energy, so very hot objects tend to emit high-energy radiation, such as X-rays. Keep in mind that the human eye can only see visible light, which is a small part of the entire electromagnetic spectrum. Note that the K stands for Kelvin, a unit used to measure temperature. Stars, it turns out, emit visible light as well as visible light. They also emit other types of radiation. As a result, organizations like NASA using powerful telescopes can see other types of radiation, detect objects too far away to be visible to the naked eye. This helps scientists learn more about the formation of our universe. X-ray images taken by Chandra show objects being accelerated by gravity to near the speed of light temperatures, reaching millions of degrees. And the magnetic fields more than a trillion times stronger than Earth. By looking at the images produced by these invisible rays, Chandra's research team can analyze some of the universe's deepest and darkest secrets. The resulting color image can tell scientists what's happening. In this particular case, the initial explosion produces a high-energy shock wave, which is hotter than the gas left behind, red or green. Areas with multiple types of X-rays are shown in other colors, such as yellow or purple. Please note that the entire image editing process can be somewhat subjective. For example, a scientist can intentionally emphasize bright blue areas but make red areas very dim, in case he or she is particularly interested in very high energy X-ray emission. Thus, starting with the same source file, two different people may end up with a very different final image. To sum up, X-ray has made a great contribution to the science and technology industry, especially the aviation industry, which will not only allow astronomers to investigate every moment in outer space more clearly, also can let the masses know more from the outer space of all kinds of knowledge. This further shows that the research and development of science and technology is becoming more and more powerful, but also more and more popular.